Well, let's return to events now here in the UK, because this is the scene from the helicopter over central London. Thousands of people have descended on the capital for a rally being organised by the activist Tommy Robinson. Meanwhile, there is also a counter-protest, but as you can see, quite a large crowd has turned up there in central London, waving St George's flags, the Union flag. This is part of a march, a rally, as I say, to effectively what they would see rally people in support of the United Kingdom. It's been described as a free speech festival. We're expecting to hear from Jordan Peterson and Katie Hopkins, but there is also a counter-protest march against fascism and stand up to racism, which is also due to take place. Many people feel that this is not a march in support of the United Kingdom, but rather a racist, essentially, kind of demonstration, if you like. And we know that 1,000 police officers have been deployed to ensure that there are no clashes between protesters with opposing views. We've got several correspondents, actually, to speak to. We're just having a little bit of trouble connecting with them, given, I think, the size of that march, given the fact that it is, as you can see, quite large. It's going to go from Stamford Street near Waterloo Bridge and cross the River Thames. I think we can bring in Martin Brunts, who is there for us. And Martin, certainly from what we can see on the chopper pictures coming into here at Sky, a large demonstration. I think Tommy Robinson on Twitter has claimed it's going to be the biggest protest in British history. I'm not sure about that, but clearly a large number of demonstrators and a large police presence too.
Yes, I mean, I'm at the other end, the rival protest, if you like, stand up for racism, and there are a couple of hundred people gathering here already. The protesters aren't expected or aren't planning to move off for another hour or so. So the numbers here are going to be rather smaller. And I think that will be the pattern as the day goes on. On previous demonstrations, Tommy Robinson's supporters have made a crowd of something like 25,000, perhaps a bit more. The police expectation, I understand today, is that there will be more than that. And as we're speaking, I mean, the weather's a good day for protests, so I imagine that the Unite the Kingdom protest will draw more than the 25,000 that have been seen on previous demonstrations. Yes, of course, the police are here in big numbers, not terribly overt at the moment, but as always, go down a side street and there are more police waiting in vans. Their mission today is to ensure that the rival protests are allowed to make their demonstrations. They are, of course, concerned at the possibility of disruption. So principally, they will try to keep the two rival groups apart. They've got dedicated different routes to Whitehall. When they get there for speeches, and both protesters, both groups have stages set up for speeches. One has been told to finish at 4 o'clock, the other one at 6 o'clock. But generally, when they get to Whitehall, the police will have a sterile area between the two protest groups, who will be marshalled at either end of Whitehall, a kind of no man's land, if you like. But at the moment, it's early days, and protesters from both sides are beginning to muster.
OK, Martin, as you say, at that counter-demonstration there in central London, thank you. Let's go to Tom Cheshire, who is at the main demonstration. As you can see, it does look almost certainly like tens of thousands of people have gathered at that demonstration in central London. Looking from the helicopter pictures, the police saying they will take a firm action on any behaviour that crosses the line. Tom, what are things like where you are?
Yeah, I mean, it's really big. That's the first impression. We've actually had to move out from the crowd we were in there earlier, but we just couldn't get a signal. There are so many people here. Having been on previous marches organised by Tommy Robinson before, this feels a lot bigger than that. We started over in Blackfriars, where Tommy Robinson, he had told people to assemble to come down. There's lots of people from all over the country. We've seen flags from Leeds, from Essex, all sorts of people dressed up as crusaders, lots of Make America Great Again hats, memorials for Charlie Kirk, who was murdered this week. This feels like a really, really big amount of people who are gathering here behind me in Stamford Street. So they're going to start here, they're going to move up around to Whitehall, more towards where Martin is. As you say, Tommy Robinson, he has implored his followers to stay peaceful here, say this is a family affair, not to wear masks, things like that. And the atmosphere so far has been good. There's been lots of shouting, lots of criticism, very vocal criticism of Keir Starmer, but so far it is a lot of people coming together, and we haven't seen any ugliness or anything like that. There are families here as well, people from all over the country, a huge amount of people. I think that is the most important thing. They're going to start moving from here, work their way through central London, where there will be those speeches from various speakers, and then that dispersal order by 6 p.m. But this is feeling like a really big demonstration, the culmination of a summer we saw, with the start of protests in Epping, then the Raise the Colours campaign, where people have been putting Union flags and English flags as well all around the country. This feels like the culmination of that, people all over the country in their thousands marching in support, chanting Tommy Robinson's name.
And Tom, as you said, we've seen demonstrations this summer, particularly around the issue of immigration. This group, if you like, or the title band Unite the Kingdom, is it simply about migration? What are the people there, the families, the people, as you say, have travelled from different parts of the country? What are they protesting about?
Well, it's quite amorphous, even when it's defined by Tommy Robinson himself. He's an anti-Islam activist. There is an anti-migration element to this hugely. We've seen signs about Epping, about if you don't like this country, then you should leave it. It's billed as a free speech rally. But this is also, if you look at what he's saying, it's about protecting British heritage and British culture. That is left very loosely defined in that. So I think there is that strong immigration element to it, that anti-Islam in terms of radical Islam element to it. And we haven't seen that specifically yet, and I think more of that will come out in the speeches. Right now it's about people, loads of people, wearing flags, getting out on the streets. They want to sort of gather as patriots, as it's being phrased. And then they're going to take it from there. But we haven't had much in terms of content. I think this is it's a broad umbrella that brings a lot of people with a lot of grievances, whether it's against the government, whether it's against local hotels, whether it's the state of immigration, whether it's stop the boats. We've seen a lot of signs saying that. All of that is being gathered here today with thousands of people in one place trying to make those arguments. Those will be made specifically, when it comes to those speeches. Right now, people gathering about to start that procession.